Live. And we're live, Crypto Azzy. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Black blockchain investing. Come on in, come one, come all.
Good morning to you, stateside. Good afternoon from London.
So I'm just getting this live distributed so people can share it. So if you guys can hear me, I want you guys to like this video. I want you guys to share this video. This is going to be our weekend recap, kind of like our Monday cryptocurrency morning brief as far as what's going on in the markets. Is there a lag? Asmeret, say something.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on one second. I hear you. All right, great. I just want to make sure that we're good on that. So we're going to go over some of the things that's been happening in the market over the weekend, this last couple of days, some fundamentals. So as you guys know, my name is AKing Risen, Yusuf, and this is Crypto Azzy, Asmeret. And I look at things on the technical side, she looks at things on the fundamental side. And there's some really interesting fundamental news that came out over the weekend and even this morning. So I'm really interested to see and hear Asmeret's perspective on that. There was some really interesting things that happened as far as the technical side on my side. So I'm really eager to share that. So like this video, give Asmeret some hearts, flowers, shares, so we can get this information out so we could continue and be encouraged and inspired to share this information and get you guys valuable content. So let's get started. Asmeret, how was your weekend? Anything eventful happened for you over the weekend?
I've just been doing my thing, relaxing, reading up, researching, but I hear that it was Memorial Day weekend at your end.
It was Memorial Day. You know, I don't really do too much over these holidays, if that's what you want to call it. So I spent my Memorial Day really just reading. I like to read when I'm not looking at charts. It kind of helps me decompress, get my mind away from things, getting my mind away from personalities and attitudes. So I'm reading this one book. It's a really good read. It has some footnotes and some commentary from Cornel West. So I mean, I like listening to, you know, getting different perspectives, different minds. It's pretty cool. And it's not business related. I like reading stuff that's completely not related to crypto, not related to business, things I could just completely escape from it. So that's cool. So we had a pretty significant weekend where we've seen some drops in prices. We've seen some price rebound and recover. So any news that you want to share as far as any particular projects that have been affected by any type of news?
Yes. What I'd like to start with is the current bounce at the moment with the cryptos. So I'm not sure if you heard, right now Italy is going through uncertainty fiscally. So one of their political parties are threatened to pull out of the Eurozones, and it's making investors quite nervous and putting the Eurozone project into jeopardy. So Bitcoin and gold have been the winners in this. So we're seeing that a lot of the coins, the top 100 coins, have been in the green. What's been particularly notable, though, EOS, which is in the top 10, has been in the negative territory. So, and that is due to several things. So first one, they commissioned a Chinese group to see if there's any bugs, make sure everything is set before their main testnet release due June the 2nd, I believe. Unfortunately, they did find some major epic, catastrophic type of glitches, and they said this could have caused problems with the nodes. Bad players could have come in and taken over, and it would have affected wallets, and they would have got access to private keys. Luckily,
so that's like hacking. Then is that what you're saying?
Yes. So Yes. So basically, what they are now advised, they advised the main developer, the project leader, and he put out a Twitter recently that has been fixed, but they're looking for more people. And I believe he was rewarding, I think, several thousands of dollars to find for each bug. So that made the investors quite nervous because, and in fact, it's reflected in the price. And that's because they're more concerned about the delay, impacting and delaying the launch of the main testnet. So they, it's not a good look basically to have any sort of issues before a launch in the crypto space. So that's something that's been affecting the price as well in the market. So despite, the rest of the cryptos being in green, EOS investors have been taking flight from there. But long term, fundamental wise, it is a very strong project. It will continue to do well. And if they get this right with this launch, they will completely transform the dApps landscape. So long term, it is a winner. Short term right now, they're just, and also another thing to add is they want to cause, they're basically trying to manipulate the price as well, causing this uncertainty around it. So they're trying to suppress the price as low as possible. I believe last time I checked, it was like over $11. So per token. So yeah.
So that's really interesting. We talk about how we may be experiencing some suppression and price manipulation in the market. Now, a lot of times people directly associate price with the quality of the project. So, or how robust the project may be. So just because some of your favorite altcoins may be experiencing some discounts right now in price, it doesn't necessarily take away from the underlying fundamentals of how promising that project can be. So what Asmeret is saying, if I'm understanding correctly, is that even though we are experiencing some price decreases, the underlying asset of EOS, long-term wise, is still looking pretty promising, which is interesting. And from that, and on that same note, it's really interesting with EOS. I wanted to share something. I'm losing my train of thought with EOS, because EOS has like a really huge support as far as like fan base. I have like a crazy emphatic fan base. And we're hearing things as far as EOS being $50, $100. Where did you, I think you read some article where it was saying like $100 by the end of the year or next year for EOS?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's really impressive. So I do think that we are experiencing some discounts in the market, and those discounts can continue. But the things I try to beat into people, because I know I'm a very theatrical person and I say things in a very colorful way. And I do it to drive emotion. I like to shake things up, partly to get people's attention on a particular matter so that they're looking at things differently and investigating things differently. So when we talk about the downturn in the market, it's so relative. And I've said this so many times in past videos, is that we can have a bearish market and a bearish market lasts 3 months. A bearish market lasts 6 months. Whereas in other markets, bearish markets can last 3 years, 6 years. So it's so relative. I mean, I know we're pinching at, we're really, what's the word? Threading needles, not threading needles, like splitting hairs. That's the word I'm looking for. But I think in the long scape, even if you have EOS $11, if it's going to $100, it's really minuscule. It'll be great if it drops down to $5, you buy it at $5. But when you look at it at $100, it's still relative. So that's something I try to keep things in perspective as far as how things are relative in crypto. I obviously like to play things on both ends, but it's good to have that fundamental outlook. That's really important, so we know why we're in these projects and ultimately why we're even in the space. So that's pretty cool. Was there any other like big alarming news? I know EOS. I heard there was something about Tron. Do you have anything about Tron? What's going on with that?
I'm not too certain about Tron, but I do know that it's reflected in the price. Both of them are currently in negative territory. But just to add to your comment about the long-term fundamentals in the crypto space, I mean, if we look at the number of hash rates as well, and the number of the segregated witness transactions as well. That's actually growing. We're seeing more miners come into the Bitcoin, and that actually indicates the continued development of the network. And whatever happens to Bitcoin will ultimately affect the rest of the altcoins as well. So long term, we're seeing the hash rate steadily increasing. So they're bringing in more power.
So, and I like that point that you bring up, because there's this big argument as far as divergence from Bitcoin, because we're seeing more USD, and we're finding new avenues to purchase crypto, independent of Bitcoin. So there's this big debate that there's going to be projects that move independent of Bitcoin, that's completely isolated from Bitcoin's price. Where I find that might be true in spots and times, I still believe, even though relative to a few months ago, Bitcoin's dominance has decreased, Bitcoin still moves the ocean. So for you to take a position on something completely independent of Bitcoin, you have to be really informed. It probably would need to be something that you do almost full time to make those type of decisions, where you can still, get into projects that are doing great while Bitcoin is not so much. But it's kind of like, the odds aren't in your favor typically. So you want to go with the current. If you don't know anything else, you want to trade, you want to invest with the current, because Bitcoin kind of is still the standard. It still sets the pace. So if Bitcoin is discounting, there's a very good chance some of these favorite alts that people may be involved in, they may be discounting as well. But it's not a universal rule. You could be involved in something that is getting some gains right now, but it's not the way you make money in this market, unless you really, really know what you're doing. So we speak on Bitcoin, we speak on Ethereum, because they're the leaders. They're the ones that's giving us indication of how healthy this market is and where our opportunities may ultimately be. So that's pretty cool. I thought there was an article that came out on Tron. Maybe I'm mistaken.
I think so. You know what? That does ring a bell. I think it's because of them. They also have a mainnet to be launched as well.
Because there was a reason why Tron dropped, I think it was 20% in the last couple of days or something along those lines. So I'm gonna look that up. Or if you could look that up, it could have been old news. I might just be thinking of something past tense, but I thought I seen something online. But if there is, let us know. But while you're doing that, I'm gonna take a look at these charts, because I know a lot of people want to see charts as far as the technical side. And this isn't a technical lesson, guys. So I'm not going to try to give you all types of confluences and moving averages and all that type of stuff, because it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. But what I am going to do is give you guys a basic frame outlook of where the market is based on my analysis. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin. So if you guys have a particular altcoin you want to see, let me know. Let's not make it crazy. If you give me one or two altcoins, because I want to get back into some of these fundamentals, there's some really good stuff on the fundamentals, let me know. So post your altcoins. But listen, if you post an altcoin, make sure you give me a like, make sure you share this video, because it's good content. I want to make sure this content's getting out to as many people as possible. And I'm going to give you guys a really bearish scenario. I'm going to give you guys a really bullish scenario. I'm going to give it to you straight of where things may be. Monero's dead. Eric, Monero's dead. Every time I say stuff like this, I get in trouble. That's going to be like, hey, why are you telling people Monero's dead?
Just to add, though,
give me a like and a share. I asked you, but I'm gonna give you charts. I'm not saying Monero's literally dead. It's a great coin, and it's a privacy coin, right, Asmeret?
Correct. Yes.
So I don't think it's literally dead, but I do think it's gonna see some very bearish times within the weeks ahead. But give me a like and a share. I'm gonna give y'all love out here. I'm gonna give y'all straight love, straight facts. And Zill, I'll take a look at Zill. But the only way I'll do it. Heart for Asmeret, like for me, and share. Your mama needs to see it. Your auntie needs to see it. Your uncle. You know the uncle you got that wears them leather sandals? He needs to see it. Great barbecue. He's at the barbecue, but he makes wearing them leather sandals. He needs to see this. All right, so let's pull up these charts. Hold on one second. Let me turn off my alerts because if I don't log off of Facebook and turn everything off, I promise you, y'all gonna see all my business.
Just to add to what you said about Bitcoin, we lose perspective when we look at the bigger picture. Like some people don't notice that we've lost up to 50% over 2018 this year so far. And its price has been up like over 700% since January last year. The coin was trading over 1,000. So in a big scheme of things, it's still developing, like it's the price is where it needs to be. It's a healthy correction. So
that is very true. I mean, it's interesting because it's like you could have something that goes from literally, I mean, let's see, in the beginning of 2017, what price was Bitcoin?
It had crossed the $1,000
in the beginning of 2017?
Correct.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So we had that dip. So we went from basically, it went from 1,000 to like 800. They went from $800 to $20,000. So, I mean, come on, guys. You have something went from $800 to $20,000. You know, so let's put things back in perspective. I mean, a little discount here is not unreasonable. Like, I know it feels like that, but it's really hard to go from 800 to 20,000 in any market in the world ever, ever. Like that doesn't just happen every day. So we go there. We have to have some. Especially with let me get my words straight, especially with something more so speculative as Bitcoin. We're not talking about, Amazon or a company with founders. Like, we don't know who started Bitcoin. We really don't. So, I mean, we're not talking about, we're talking about something so speculative. So we have to be a little reasonable here, guys, on the way back down. All right, I'm just looking at some of these messages. So let me pull up this chart on Bitcoin. I'm going to look at Bitcoin. I'm going to look at Monero. Give me one more coin, guys. And see, some of these coins I don't have on TradingView. So I'm looking at the ones that I know for sure I have on TradingView. I know I have Bitcoin. I know I have Monero because I trade Monero. Takiya's in the house. Takiya's in the house. What's up? What is DGB? What's that? Digibyte? I think I have DGB on TradingView. I'll take a look at that too. So hold on one second. All right, so we got some coins to look at. I'm gonna give you guys like just a very simple outlook. Super simple. All right, basic trend, support resistance trend lines. And you know what? I'll throw a Fibonacci on there because some of you guys been following me. So I feel like I could share Fibonacci's with you guys without feeling bad. All right, let me make sure everything is turned off so my business isn't exposed. All right, we're good on that. Boom. All right, I'm sharing the screen, Asmeret.
Okay. See what you got.
All right, you guys see this, right?
Yes.
George Johnson. Tron is dead. I'm just joking. Tron isn't dead. I'm just messing with you guys. I'll tell you what's really going on with it. Like, part of me wants to spread more FUD so the prices go lower. It's like, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to do that. All right, so like here is Bitcoin on the daily chart, right? So this is a very simple support trend line resistance. So this is the daily resistance. The daily resistance was right at $77,800, right at that 0.618 fib. You guys can see right here, the 0.618 fib. This is that resistance. It was at $7,837, right? So we broke that with this big, large, engulfing red candle. Boom, we broke. And where do we end up? And remember, in my last video, I told you guys watch the $7,100 to $7,200 range. We got down to the 70. We actually went a little bit lower, around 7,000 and change, and then we popped back up. I was looking at this 7,200 range at the 0.786 fit level. So if you notice, this is our downtrend with this black line. We broke down, we bounced back up towards the line, we broke down, and I'm expecting us to bounce back up towards this line, maybe around $7,500, $7,600, $7,700. And we may not even get there because the market is a little weak. Kevin Jarvis, what's up? Donna Richards, what's up? So we may not even get there. And we may just come all the way back down to the $6,500 level. So these are the levels that I'm watching. So let me give you guys a plan of action. Like, this looks cool, right? I know how to draw some lines. So what does this mean? Simple. If we break above $7,900, then I'm looking bullish. If we break below $7,200, I'm looking bearish. Simple. Simple as easy as pie, right? Easy as pie. Now, when you're day trading, there's a lot more things to consider. But as a long-term holder, these are some very basic principles. Why would I be bullish above 78, 7,900? Because we would have broke this daily resistance, which is a really strong resistance, and we'll be trading above this 0.618 fib level. So that would give me some confidence that the market is rebounding and we're going to see higher prices. So Yusuf, what do you think is actually going to happen? We know what to look for. What do you think is actually going to happen? I think we're going to go up in price a little bit, range for today, maybe tomorrow, maybe even Thursday, just depending on how many of you guys decide to buy cryptocurrency, even though we're in a downtrend. And then I think we're going to sell off again. And here's the problem that I have. And let me explain to you guys my problem with Bitcoin is that our support level was at $6,000. That's real support. That's really where the support was. This level right here, I call fake support. Like, this level right here really wasn't support. Like, since when did 6,500 become support? Like, why was 6,500 support? That didn't make any sense. So I suspect and I fear that if we see 6,500 again, we're going to fly through it. We're going to break it like the false support that it was to begin with. So those are the levels I'm looking for. But right now, my overall approach in the market is still bearish. And yes, even though we're bouncing, yes, went from 7,000 to 7,400. Yes, even though all of this, I'm taking all of this into consideration, I'm still bearish on the market. So what's your long-term overview, right? So let me give you all these gems. If we see lower prices, which I think we are, worst case scenario, we can go down to a three-figure Bitcoin, you know, $900, somewhere between $900 and $1,300. That's the worst case scenario that I see. Best case scenario, I see us bouncing from this level. We could bounce from 6,500. We could bounce from 5,000. Best case, I think we still fall a little bit, and then we bounce, and then we see new all-time highs. That would be like the best case scenario. So I don't want to really say what I think is most likely going to happen because I don't want to draw a whole bunch of emotions. But I think it's a real possibility that we could see that 2017 levels again. And that's what I really think. I think it's a real possibility. I think going back to 2017, the beginning of 2017 is very healthy. If you look at market psychology, we look at, and with that being said, it's not to say that we still can't make money on specific projects. Like, there's some really cool projects that I myself recently invested in to get, you know, some gains. That's because I'm working with professionals like Asmeret. I'm working with professionals like Mark Moss. So I'm buying into these projects really with a high degree of education and wisdom, of which I do not possess by myself. And people think just because I look at charts, I know about projects, which cannot be further from the truth. I read charts. I go to Asmeret for investing into altcoins. I hit up Mark Moss preferably Asmeret, but sometimes in lieu of Asmeret, I'll hit up Mark Moss for investing on altcoins. So that's what I do. I trade. So, but with that being said, I do have a very good idea. If you study market psychology, if you study hyperwaves, then you'll look at it and be like, okay, there's a real possibility we go back. Mark actually shared with me a chart from Amazon. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. I might have to go to like the weekly chart. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was right around here. Let me see. What was the time frame? So this was 1,379 days. How long is that, Asmeret? 1,000 is 365 days in a year. Let's just say 412. So it was like 4 years, 4.5 years, something like that. Mm-hmm. So if you look at Amazon, right? Amazon was $7. Amazon shot up to $115, and we crashed back down to $7. And this was a span of about 4.5, 5 years, something like that. Maybe I should be able to do the math, but I can't do the math. While too late, I'm drawing the emotion. I'm horrible. I'm about to get all types of compliance letters. Okay, so it took like 4.5, 5 years for us to go up from 7 to 115 back to 7. And I don't know the fundamental news at this point, but I'm sure it's pretty relevant, significant. Maybe it was like the .com boom or the crash or whatever it was. But this was back in from 98 to 2001. Yeah, so that was like 4 years? Well, 3 years and some change. Mm-hmm. Well, that's late 2001. This was early. So yeah, like 4 years. Let's just say 4 years. So it took us 4 years in Amazon to go to the high, back down to the low, and then obviously work back up. But see, here's the thing, guys. Once you zoom out, it's like this right here really becomes insignificant. Amazon is $1,600 right now. Like this becomes so insignificant once you actually zoom out. I think I'm in log scale too. Yeah, so that's why it looks more significant. So look how small this looks. Like this was literally a blip. This was like an ant bite. It's an ant bite in the great scheme of things. So even though you're looking at this and we see Bitcoin following some of this market psychology, and I think we're thinking like, oh my God, it's Armageddon because crypto is so invincible. Nobody can imagine Bitcoin going back to $1,000. Like that's impossible. But guess what? It was also impossible at 20,000 for us to see 6,000. And the same people that were at 20,000, they're like, we're seeing 50,000, 100,000. I remember, and Asmeret, you remember in all those little channels and groups, everyone was saying 40,000, 80,000, 200,000. Yeah. Like the world was so drunk on it. So now that we've licked our wounds and we've learned, even if we do have a market cycle similar to Amazon, look what Amazon ended up doing. And in cryptocurrency, this isn't going to take us from 98 to 2000. What's that? 20 years? It's not going to take us 20 years. It's not going to take us 30 years. It's going to take us, 30 months, 20 months, if that. So it's going to be huge, huge, huge opportunity. VenChain and Zilliqa. Okay, well, I'll let Asmeret answer that. There's somebody asking about that. So I want you guys to keep things in perspective. So we may see a lot lower prices, or we may bounce and go straight to the moon. But even if we do see those lower prices, like guys, if you're holding crypto, just hold it. If that's what you do, if you're not trading and stuff like that, just hold it. And we go lower, put a little cash to the side, buy a little more. Like it's not the end of the world. I mean, we're literally going to be in a bear market and into a bull market, into a thing from bear to accumulation to bullish in no time, in no time. So don't do anything silly, just because you see prices acting crazy right now. We're in the right space. We're in the right time. We're in the driver's seat. The only way this blows up is if you do something uneducated and silly. So if you don't know what you're doing, just hold. And I promise you, you'll be, let me pause. I'm not promising anything. I strongly believe you'll be all right. So I wanted to share that. Let me see. Somebody said, so guys, you know, someone said Tron, so let me pull that up. So Tron is really similar. Let me erase this. And with Tron, I see us doing something like this. You see, we broke this pattern right here. We broke the structure on Tron, where we went up, we went down, we bounced, and you see how we formed like this little structure here, where we had it's not really a head and shoulders. I know a lot of people will look at this and want this to be a head and shoulders, but whatever. So it's not really a head and shoulders, but we bounced, we retested, we shot up, we retested, and we broke down. So now a retest of this black line at this 6 cents, that's healthy. We retested it. And for me, I would see Tron finding support again somewhere around here, somewhere around 4 or 5 cents. So not investment advice, not telling you to sell, not telling you to buy, but I wouldn't get into Tron until, me personally, like, and I don't own Tron, by the way. I don't believe in, I mean, not that I don't believe in the project. I don't know enough about the project to make an investment decision on it long term. So, but if Asmeret educates me on Tron and it's something I decide to do, then I'll be looking somewhere around 5 cents for that level to hold. And there's some pretty strong support for Tron around 5 cents. This 5.5 cent range. So I'm cool on Tron right now, you know. But if you're in that 6 cents and it drops to 5 cents, I mean, you know, you don't know what you're doing, just hold it, you know, just hold it. What are your thoughts on Tron, Asmeret? Do you think it's something worth holding, or you think it's a bust?
I think long term it will do well. Not just not just Tron, but EOS as well. They do have strong fundamentals. So if you're currently holding these coins, then yes, I would say to hold. But that's something which I know with the South Korean, with the Asian counterparts, they're investing heavily into this. But if you have it right now, definitely hold on to it.
So it's interesting, like some of the news that came out as far as cryptocurrency and the prices. Like we had consensus. There was, you know, consensus is typically bullish, but in this case, it really wasn't that bullish for price. So, and again, I have to be very careful with these words. So bullish, we can have bullish news or fundamentals, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bullish for price. So you have to be careful with these things. But then we had that exchange in North Korea, I believe, get hacked or get raided. So, and then we had that Mt. Gox thing that come out. So we had some other negative things that kind of counteract some of the bullish things. But one of the things that I continue to tell people is that in this new developing market, don't look at things as bullish and bearish. Look at things as healthy or toxic. So like when I see price going down and I see new regulation coming in, I see new roads and infrastructure coming in, I see it as being a healthy thing, even if the price is sliding. But if I know, like, okay, custodial accounts are being created for cryptocurrency, like that's really healthy. And the reason why that's important, and I'm jacking Mark Moss fundamental news right now, like y'all have no idea. Straight jack, like I owe him a check. I should really write a check for Mark Moss, because this is what I heard he say. I heard him speak on, as far as like big institutional money coming in, but they're not going to just buy Bitcoin and put it on a treasure. They're not just going to do that. They need to have custody. They need to have something saying we own this, like, and it's immutable. Like this is ours. It can't be stolen. And if it is stolen, there's something that tracks it back to us. Like we have a fiduciary responsibility to our holders, to our investors, to make sure that if we invest in Bitcoin or any crypto, that it's being done in a responsible, transparent way. So he mentioned that coming into the space. Obviously, all types of, I mean, Asmeret, she mentioned Circle and Goldman Sachs and all these big players and big names coming to the space. So even though I'm watching price decline and slide some, I'm more optimistic because I know this space is getting healthier. So guys, you have to get your mind out of price. If you just want to make some money, I'll help you make some money. But if you're in crypto for the right reasons, I mean, making money is really the byproduct of why you should be in crypto, in my view. And that kind of came to the forefront because so many people got wealthy. So it's a natural thing, and I get it, and nobody's on trial. But that's not the reason why we're here. Like, we're here because this industry is transformative. We talk about financial sovereignty. We talk about immutable transactions. We talk about transparency. We talk about scalability. I mean, these are huge things that are revolutionary. The internet of 2018 is what blockchain technology is. So, like, let's make sure we're here for the right reasons. And even though we've seen some sliding in prices, we don't go ape crazy and just like, oh my God, this was all a bust. Like, I'm seeing people like completely just abandon ship. So we have to understand, like, big money's coming in. There was a report about some manipulation on exchanges, and I believe, was it the SEC or somebody got involved? Who was it?
Department of Justice. That's
Department
another
Justice.
topic
Okay.
We're going to go into shortly.
Got you. Okay, so I'm gonna let you speak on that. So we're seeing a lot of different things come into the space and make it cleaner. So if the process of doing that, the price slides, like, you shouldn't be discouraged about the space. So but go ahead, Asmeret. What was that whole thing about anyway?
Okay, so there's been several countries, not just the US, but even on the UK side, they've opened 24 investigations on this side of the pond. But with the US Department of Justice, they've opened a criminal investigation into market manipulation, and they're looking specifically at Bitcoin and Ethereum. And basically what they're trying to do is find out how extensive this issue is. So there's two particular things that market manipulators do, and it's called washing and spoofing. So this is quite significant. And another thing I've noticed as well, just before the mainstream media announced it, if you look at the orders, the buy and sell orders, there was a huge sell orders hours before the main news came out. So we know clearly there has been market manipulation, and this is something which they're trying to establish how deep the hole is, basically. So just to give you an idea, so when you're spoofing, it's basically creating like a large amount of orders and then canceling them. And this, it allows the price basically to come up before the crypto markets. And then with wash trading, these terms are crazy to me. Is when the trader buys their own orders. So it creates the illusion of market demand to attract more buyers. So it's quite prevalent in the market, and it's something which not just the Department of Justice, but the CFTC is looking into as well. And also on the UK side, they're looking to see in terms of tax evasion.
Yeah, and then there was a report that came out about Bitfinex starting to report taxes, I think, or something along those lines as far as transactions.
Speaking of Bitfinex, yes, and also there's been reports that there's been some trading bots that have been using Bitfinex to affect the price, and the volatility has been crazy with that, and the manipulation coming from there as well.
So, I mean, what I'm hearing is that, there's some, within every new industry, there's going to be some bad actors. And what we're doing, or at least what's happening, is that we're cleaning some of those bad actors out. So I'm optimistic, because the more we see some of these, shaky alts and ICOs go away, some of this price manipulation go away, some of these exchanges getting their acts together, doing the right things, then that's going to bring more buyer confidence, because there's so much money and so much interest that wants to come into the space. But when they open the hood, they're like, man, there's no way I can invest. Because, guys, you have to understand, there's really savvy, disciplined investors that are not like us, where, we say, oh, we can make 100% here, I'm going for it. Even though the project might be two dudes in a basement that just came with a white paper, but if we know it's going to do 50%, then we might jump in it, some of us. So where there's really savvy investors, they're like, I don't care if this project can give me 50%. If it's shady and shaky and it's sketchy, I'll just make this 7% that I do annually with real estate. I'll just make this 12% that I do annually with bonds. Like, they're not pressed. You know, I mean, this cryptocurrency is great. There's a lot of people that are very excited and emotionally driven to get in, but there's so many people that's not, and they refuse to get in unless there's, you know, certain key components in place. And when they do come in, they don't want to come in at the top of the market. They want to come in at a great price. So all of these things we have to keep in mind as far as how this market is going to turn and where we're going to go. And before I give it back to you, Asmeret, I just want to pull up Digibyte because Miss Anita asked for me to take a look at Digibyte. So Digibyte is sitting right at a support level. I don't think it's going to hold. So the thing is with support and resistance is designed to be broken. So whenever you see price retouch, then it's a very good chance it's going to crack. It's kind of like ice. Like, you think of ice and you just chisel it. And eventually it's going to bust. And Digibyte in the BTC market, it looks like it wants to bust. It looks like it touched here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it broke and then came down somewhere around here. I don't think it's on the USD market, but that's where the next area would be, somewhere around there, about 370 Satoshis. So, but it could do the opposite. It could bounce and fly up, totally. But I'll be looking for it to break more so than bounce. If it bounced, you would know. I mean, you would get some clear price confirmation, same way if it broke. So, but we're at a good level for it, though. So pay attention to see what happens at this level, and we'll see where it goes from there. And this is the 3-day chart, by the way. Let me put it on the daily. So I like looking at something like that. It's a little bit slippage. I like looking at 3-day charts, weekly charts. It gives me a much better idea of where the market is really going versus looking at some of the smaller time frames. But yeah, that's all I have as far as the charts are concerned. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Oh man, so many people. Let me get some likes. Let me get some shares. You love soft hands, Kevin? Hey man, I respect you. You see, Kevin, not everybody has that big money. Kevin's a big money. I see you, Kevin. Getting them big old truck drivers. Truck drivers make a nice living. No problem, Anita. No problem. Let me get some shares for Asmeret, because they want. I know if I ask for shares for me, y'all not going to share. So let me ask shares for Asmeret. See how I use you, Asmeret, to get things done. All right, so I'm done sharing this. All right, cool. So we could just talk to the people now. So, I know the question that you get a lot, Asmeret, is like particular projects or particular coins that you really like, and you know, I know those recommendations come at a premium service, and I know you charge quite a bit for those recommendations. I'm gonna tell you this: like me, Asmeret, like I consider her a friend, but she charges me for her recommendations. She's not. No, she does no favors for me. Let's be clear here. I want y'all to be very clear. She gets her coins, but could you oblige us with maybe one coin that you like a little bit, that you're paying attention to, that is pretty cool for you?
Yes, there is one that has been getting quite a lot of buzz, and the fundamentals look great on, and I like Nulls, Nuls. Nulls. Nulls is something which will allow people, especially in the business community, to create their own custom-made blockchain. So this is quite revolutionary, because if you think of WordPress, if you think of like how easy it is these days to create websites, so you have the drag and drop approach, you know, you can just chop and change. So Nulls is a project which is looking to do that, to allow businesses to create customized blockchain without any blockchain experience. So they don't have to spend, you know, quite a lot of money to hire, you know, these teams, there's engineers to create the blockchain. They can create it themselves. And it's been getting quite a lot of not just hype, but the community is quite strong around it, and it is looking to do extremely well in the coming years.
That is huge. That is huge. Because, you know,
take a look at the price as well on that. You'll see the all-time highs, and this is a great time to buy while it's low.
That is huge. And let's be clear, we're not making financial advice, recommendations. Invest at your own risk, do your own due diligence. Don't invest at all. If you take anything that I say, don't invest at all. I'd rather you not invest than invest and say, I told you to buy something, or Asmeret told you to buy something. What we're doing, we're just sharing our experience, sharing our knowledge, and we want you to take it. If you want to take it, throw it away. If you want to throw it away, whatever you decide to do. But where our intentions are is to help create wealth through our communities. And we just happen to have a niche and a liking in the cryptocurrency space. So if it's about building wealth, that's where our passions are. That's where we want you to benefit. We want to be of value and servitude to you guys. At the same time, we want to protect ourselves. So we're not saying buy anything, but we are just telling you and sharing with you what we're looking at, some opportunities that may be. But that is huge. I mean, because I've actually, you know, I'm in discussion with some people and trying to work with some things as far as blockchain technology. And building your own blockchain is not cheap. And there's so many like directions you can go, and so many questions that need to be answered, and so many things that once you really start to, you know, delve into it, you're like, damn. Like, I feel like I know a thing or two about cryptocurrency, right? But when you go through the thought process of building your own blockchain, you're like, man, maybe I don't know as much as I thought I knew. Like, maybe I need to. And Asmeret would tell, I'll call her like, hey, Asmeret, like, what does this even mean? I was so confused. So, and she shared with me about null. So it's just like, that's a huge, huge, huge game-changing project right there.
It currently, just to add to that, over the last 24 hours, it's over 8%. It's gained over 8%, and it's ranked 96.96. And if you look at the all-time high, I believe that was over $8, and the price is currently $3.5958 or $59. So this is basically the right time to buy.
Got you. So I mean, we're still in a bearish market. So a bounce on nulls is healthy. So we're seeing some returns there. I want you guys to be disciplined here. What she's saying is that long term, we're not talking get in and you're going to get a Lambo within the next 2 weeks. She's saying long term, great buy, because, you know, she sees amazing upside potential for it. Long term, years, not days, not hours.
Just to add to that, by January next year, it's projected to do over $50, 50. And it's currently
how much is it right now?
$3.59, 58 or 59 cents. So,
and that
I should be charging y'all for this.
Really?
But it's free.
Really?
It's from me.
Really?
You can thank me later. You can buy me gifts.
And don't expect this. I just put her on the spot. Don't expect her to do this every time. So we're doing it today. You know, like that movie. What movie was that? When they say "you dirty rats"? What movie was that? You dirty rats. You filthy animals. What was it? Was it Batman?
I'm not sure.
Batman. Was it Joker and Batman or something like that? It was something like that. So I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for sharing the Asmeret. And you know, I'm invested in those, and I'm going to definitely be watching it closely and seeing if we could reposition, maybe get some better positions. But yeah, I think that's a great project myself. So, and even if I didn't, I listen to what she says and I just buy. She tells me where to spend my money, I just spend it. Home Alone, that's what it was. Home Alone. There it is. Home Alone. Hey, I watched Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2. Man, you can't tell me Macaulay Culkin wasn't the man back in the day. Is that what y'all gonna say? Macaulay Culkin was the man. He straight up handled those dudes every handled them. Oh man, that's funny. Anything else, Asmeret, you want to share?
Just to add to Digibyte, it will do well as well. They're looking to have the title of like the most advanced blockchain in terms of interoperability and scalability, which are key features in what to look out for in terms of long-term performance. So Digibyte, whoever mentioned that, that's a great buy too.
Yep. So, and as far as the technical side, you know, things are overall a little dicey, but we'll be all right. We'll get out of here. We'll make some, we'll get some of those crypto gains again. Before you know it, it's going to feel like the beginning of 2017. We'll be back on that ride. And again and again and again, when we're speaking on this, I want y'all to be clear. We're saying long term, guys, long term. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. So if you buy something that goes down 2%, I don't want you to say, oh, Asmeret told me it was a good buy. I'm down 2%. Long term, this is what our thoughts are, not financial advice. Do your own research. Invest, don't invest, whatever you decide to do. We do love you guys. We do want y'all to have the best information, and we're going to deliver the best content as possible so that you guys get the best information. Do you want to share your thoughts on VeChain real quick, Asmeret? I know you speak on that a lot.
Yes, it's what I consider the king of the supply chain management area. And with VeChain, it's something where long term it will do extremely well, because in real life cases where you have supply chain management trying to work and safeguard data, information, and all points, all contacts throughout the supply chain management is interlinked. One of the main aspects is not just VeChain, but the other competitors like Walton Chain, Origin Trails. What they're looking to do is basically come in with the blockchain technology to try and solve a lot of these complex issues that they have. And in fact, Walmart have a special development team working on that aspect, and other business leaders from the supply chain management are coming in and embracing it. And blockchain technology is absolutely perfect for the supply chain. So do expect coins, not just VeChain, but the in other currencies in that area to do extremely well long term. The fundamentals are extremely strong there. Interoperability is another thing as well to look out for. So this is where you have protocols talk with blockchains talking to each other. So this is extremely important. Also traceability, being able to trace back at, you know, what points when you're going from farm to retail and consumption. These are different things that you can trace back as well for safety, security, for transparency as well. That will all help, again, drive the bottom line for companies, and also great for consumers for them to know the safety aspects as well.
Mm-hmm. These are things that I would have never known. These are things that, as far as these fundamentals, these details, these white papers, these company backgrounds, like real world applications, that is all crypto Azzy. So very, very appreciative. How long have we been on here, Crypto Azzy?
Has it been an hour?
We normally give them an hour of honest work, solid work.
Yep. Just to add as well, Zilliqa will do well. Whoever purchased that definitely will do well long term.
So we're. It sounds like all in all, and you know, it's interesting that you say that, because I often see people's like block folios, and they show me like the coins they have, and more often than not, I see people invest in some really cool coins. Like I don't see too many crap coins in people's portfolio. So I mean, I know a lot of people are concerned. I get that a lot. Oh, I bought this, and oh, I bought that, and I promise you, almost 9 times out of 10. I don't know if that's through virtue of the DU or through virtue of these groups. I don't know what it is, but whatever's happening, I'm finding out that a lot of people are having some really decent coins. And obviously we could add to that and expand to that. And that's why we have you here, or you have us here, because you're the boss, that, you know, you could recommend stuff. So that's pretty cool. Someone asked where you could buy Knowles. It says on Binance or KuCoin. Someone just answered. So I think they just answered it. Man, I wish I knew how long we was here on this live. Oh yes, 54 minutes. We got 5 minutes left. What else? Tell us something about yourself, Asmeret. Tell them about how you're a Eritrean queen in the. No, I tease Asmeret like she has like this music selection she likes, and she was. I heard her in the background playing Usher. I was like, what was he like in like Chasing Lions and Hyenas when Usher came out? Like, I say the most in like culturally insensitive and ignorant things to her. It's pitiful.
Yeah,
well, what was it like back home, Asmeret?
I was born in Eritrea, but I was raised in London since I was 7 years old. So I grew up with the 90s, you know. I was down. I was down with the music that came out then. And they don't make it.
Favorite singer right now? This is it. This is for all the Marvels.
Oh no.
For all the Marvels. They're gonna love you or hate you. This is it. Who's your favorite singer?
Oh no. Which genre? Because I have.
Don't make it complicated. Don't make this a political thing. Who's your favorite singer? Simple.
You can't be putting me on the spot like this. I have too many to choose from.
One. Give us one.
No.
You don't want to do it. You're afraid.
You can't make me, because I'm gonna get bad reactions.
Usher or R. Kelly? Which one's the better? Which one's better? Usher or R. Kelly?
Okay, Usher for sure. Come on now.
Well, is it because of the latest stuff R. Kelly's doing, or you really think he's a better singer?
No, Usher. I've been down with Usher since day.
I rock with Usher too, man. I rock with Usher, but R. Kelly's. If we can't put everything to the side, but we want to talk about hits. Man, yeah. Hit machine.
They did that song called "Same Girl," right?
Hit, but you know what? My favorite song was that what the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? Baby, wait, let me explain. Hey, that was the hit right there. Frank, shut up. Don't you see it?
I'm gone. I'm dead.
All right. Well, that was an hour. We're just being silly now. So someone wants to know what was your favorite genre?
Right. Well, Afrobeats. I'm crazy about Afrobeats. I love Wizkid, Davido, Prince. You name it.
And they don't like my sing. Hey, Asmeret can sing for real though. I just think I can sing. So, no, she can't sing, but you can sing. She really. I'm
not going to demonstrate it now. Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. Session over. All right, I'm sleepy, guys. It's time for me to go to bed. I don't ruin this. That's our hour. All right. Well, to the next time, guys. I'll bring some more technicals. Asmeret's going to bring some more fundamentals. We're going to look at coins like always. We're going to see the markets rebounding. We're going to see if, going lower is a possibility. The main thing is to try to keep you guys informed. Like whatever it is that's going on in the marketplace, try to keep you guys informed, keep you guys entertained, keep things exciting, bring a whole new, fresher look. But main thing is we want to make sure that what we ever give to you guys is well-researched, is well-sourced, and is reliable information. So that's the biggest thing. So, Asmeret, so I'm done. Peace, blessings, Asmeret. You can say the final goodbyes.
Thank you, thank you very much, AKing Risen. Just want to say, guys, don't be scared with what's going on. Just continue to have a bigger outlook, bigger picture. I'm extremely bullish on the crypto space, so just please look out for quality coins and projects based on what they will do in the long term as opposed to right now. Make sure you do your due diligence. We do our very best to give the best advice, but the markets do what they want to do from time to time. But if you think of this long term, you should come out of this, fingers crossed, with anywhere from 4 to 6, 7 digits. So Just be very patient. It will pay off.
There it is. Peace, family. Till the next time.
Thank you.